Chapter 1, The Village of 𝐼𝐻. A long time ago, there was a peaceful village called 𝐼𝐻. It was a small village with red sand roads, round mud houses, and tall palm trees dancing in the wind. The people of 𝐼𝐻 were known for their kindness, tasty food, and colorful festivals. Everyone knew each other, and nothing was hidden in the village. In the middle of 𝐼𝐻 lived a respected woman called 𝐼𝐻. She was wise, strong, and known for helping others. Many people came to her for advice. She had 4 daughters, but only one of them stood out the most, her first daughter, Doyin. Doyin was a kind and gentle young woman. She had a soft smile and a heart full of dreams. But there was one thing people always talked about, her body. Doyin was very fat. She was bigger than all the girls in the village and even some men. Because of her size, people laughed at her. They whispered and gossiped behind her back. "She's so big, I heard it takes 3 wrappers to cover her waist," one woman told another while pounding yam. "Someone told me she finished a whole goat by herself," another man joked at the palm wine tapper's hut. The words hurt, even though Doyin pretended not to care. Every day, Doyin helped her mother with housework. She swept the compound, cooked the meals, and helped in the small garden behind their house. But no matter how much she worked, people still only saw her body. They did not see her kindness. They did not see her sweet laughter. They only saw that she was fat. 𝐼𝐻 loved Doyin deeply. But as a mother, she worried. "My daughter," she would say, touching Doyin's cheek, "you are beautiful, and any man would be lucky to have you. Why are they all blind?" But even 𝐼𝐻 knew the truth. No man had ever come to ask for Doyin's hand in marriage. While her younger sisters were already engaged, Doyin remained alone. Many families tried to help by setting up arranged marriages, but the men always found one excuse or another. One man said, "She's too big, I can't afford to feed her." Another said, "What if she blocks the door of the hut? I don't want to live outside." Each rejection was like a small knife in Doyin's heart. Doyin tried to be strong, but deep down, she was tired. She began to believe that no one would ever love her. She looked at her sisters, slim, graceful, and always surrounded by suitors, and felt like she was not good enough. "I don't want to marry someone who just wants my family's name or my mother's respect," she said to herself one night. "I want someone who sees me, really sees me, and still chooses me." Though sad, there was one thing that always made Doyin smile. Yes, Doyin loved to dance. She would make beats with her mouth, clapping her hands and moving her body. When no one was looking, she would go behind their hut into the small bush path and dance. Her feet would tap the earth, her arms would fly in the air, and her waist, yes, her large waist, would move with joy. That was when she felt free. No one to laugh. No one to judge. Only her and the rhythm in her heart. Whenever there was a festival in 𝐼𝐻, Doyin would go, but she never danced with the crowd. Instead, she would find a hidden corner, far from the main square, where the drums and flutes could still be heard. There, she would dance alone, her eyes closed and her smile wide. One day, while sitting beside her mother, Doyin heard that the festival of the 4 villages was coming. It was the biggest event of the year. The villages of 𝐼𝐻, 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭, 𝐻 and 𝐸𝐻 would come together for music, food, and celebration. Everyone in 𝐼𝐻 was excited. Tailors were busy sewing bright dresses. The drummers were practicing every evening. Hunters were preparing roasted bush meat. Young girls were dancing in front of mirrors. And boys were learning the flute and sharpening their dance moves. But Doyin only looked forward to one thing. "Let me just find a good hiding place," she whispered, "where I can dance and forget the world." As the festival day got closer, 𝐼𝐻 became full of guests. Strangers filled the roads, sleeping in family homes, laughing and buying things at the market. The smell of fried fish and pepper soup filled the air. On the morning of the festival, Doyin dressed in a simple blue wrapper and tied a scarf on her head. Her sisters wore bright, shiny clothes with beads on their necks, but Doyin did not care. "I will go early," she told her mother. "Before the drums start. 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐻 kissed her forehead and prayed softly, "May this day bring you joy." With that, Doyin left for the festival grounds. But she had no plans to join the crowd. Doyin walked quietly through the village paths. The sky above was bright, and birds sang songs that blended with the early sounds of drums and laughter in the distance. The festival had started. People from all 4 villages were already dancing, playing games, and enjoying roasted yam and palm wine. But Doyin didn't join the crowd. She turned away from the village square and walked through a narrow path filled with tall grasses. She knew this path well. It led to a quiet corner behind the big mango tree where she always danced in secret. She felt safer there. No eyes to stare. No mouths to whisper. As she walked past a group of young boys sitting under a tree, she heard a sharp laugh. "There goes the big drum herself," one of them said loudly. Another added, "Careful. She might dance and shake the whole village." The boys laughed hard. Doyin didn't turn around, but her heart burned. She walked faster, trying to hold back her tears. She was used to it. They always laughed when she walked by. Even during market days, some women would cover their mouths and giggle, saying, if only fat could be sold, Doyin's family would be the richest in all 4 villages. And the men? Oh, they never looked at her twice. Some would even greet her sisters and walk past her like she was not there. But Doyin had learned not to cry in front of people. She kept her tears for the night, under her wrapper, where no one could see. She finally reached the mango tree. It stood tall and proud, with branches wide enough to hide her from view. She sat under it, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. From far away, the sound of drums echoed. Boom boom. To-to-to. Flutes sang high like birds in love. Her feet started moving gently. She stood up slowly and began to sway her arms. Her waist followed, her head tilted, and her heart found its rhythm. She danced as if the earth itself played music just for her. The breeze joined in, blowing her scarf gently. For those few minutes, there were no boys laughing. No villagers gossiping. No pain in her heart. Only freedom. Suddenly, she heard something strange. Another drum. It was louder. Closer. And it was not coming from the festival. Doyin paused. She looked around. The drum beat was steady and smooth. Whoever was playing it knew what they were doing. Boom boom ta. Boom boom ta, she frowned. Who is that? She whispered. But she didn't stop dancing. She told herself it was probably just someone passing by. Then, she heard voices behind her. The festival drums had stopped. But the strange drum kept playing. Strong and steady. Confused, Doyin turned around. There, behind the bushes, stood a young man with bright eyes and a wide smile. He held a small talking drum under his arm, beating it softly. Doyin gasped. "Who are you?" she asked, stepping back. The man smiled wider. "Why did you stop dancing?" Doyin's heart beat fast. Her legs moved quickly as she turned and started to run. "Leave me alone," she shouted. "Go and find someone else to laugh at." But she was not a fast runner. Her heavy steps slowed her down. Within seconds, the man caught up with her. "I'm not laughing at you," he said gently. "I promise." Doyin stopped and turned around, breathing hard. Her eyes were filled with anger and shame. "I know what you saw," she said. "A fat girl dancing like a fool. You want to go and tell your friends so they can laugh too." The man looked surprised. "No," he said quietly. "I saw a woman dancing with so much joy that I couldn't help but join with my drum." Doyin looked at him closely. His skin was dark like fresh soil. He wore a brown wrapper, and his hair was tied with a red cloth. His drum looked worn, like it had traveled far with him. "You're not from 𝐟𝐸𝐽," she said. He nodded. "I came from Osupo village this morning. I was looking for the market square, but I got lost and found you instead." Doyin blinked. "So, you weren't hiding to watch me?" He shook his head. No. I only stopped because I saw you dancing. And you dance beautifully. Her cheeks turned warm. No one had ever told her that before. Thank you, she said shyly. My name is 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷, he said, offering his hand. She smiled a little. I'm Doyin. They stood quietly for a moment, the wind blowing softly around them. I can still drum for you, 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 said. If you don't mind. Doyin laughed. I don't know. I don't usually dance in front of people. I'm not people, he said. I'm just a drummer. She thought for a while, then slowly nodded. 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 raised his drum and began to play. Boom to to to. Boom to to. Doyin's feet moved again. Just a little at first. Then her hips followed. Then her arms. She danced, carefully, then with more boldness. 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 smiled. He played louder. Faster. They danced and drummed until the sun touched the edge of the sky. When they finally stopped, Doyin sat on the ground, tired but happy. That was fun, she said, breathing hard. I enjoyed it too, 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 replied. Will you come again tomorrow? Doyin smiled, then nodded. I will. The next morning, the sun rose slowly over the village of 𝐼𝐨𝐵𝐷. Birds chirped from the tall palm trees, and the smell of roasted plantain filled the air. People were still talking about the festival from the day before, how colorful it was, how sweet the food tasted, and how lively the music was. But for Doyin, the festival had become more than just food and music. It had become a memory she would never forget. She still felt the sound of 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷's drum in her heart. His smile. The way he drummed was as if the world had paused just for her. As she washed clothes by the stream, her mind wandered. She remembered how she danced so freely, not worrying if someone was watching. She remembered the way her feet had moved, the way her arms had flown in the air. She even remembered how he said it, I'm not people. I'm just a drummer. Doyin laughed to herself and shook her head. What are you smiling at like that? Asked her younger sister, 𝐷𝐷, who stood beside her. Nothing, Doyin replied quickly, hiding her face. I think you're smiling about a boy, 𝐷𝐷 teased. No, I'm not. Doyin said, but her cheeks turned red. 𝐷𝐷 giggled. One day, someone will come for you, and we will all be shocked. Doyin smiled, but deep inside, she was already feeling something new. Something she had never felt before. That evening, after helping her mother, Aya Bashira, with the cooking, Doyin changed into a simple dress and tied her scarf neatly. She told her mother she was going for a walk again. Her mother asked. 2 days in a row? I just need some air, Doyin said, smiling. Alright, but don't stay too long. The wind is getting cold, Aya Bashira warned. Doyin nodded and left quickly before anyone asked more questions. She walked with quick steps to the mango tree, the place she had now started to think of as their spot. As she got closer, she heard it. Boom to to, boom to to to, it was 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷's drum. She smiled wide and hurried toward the sound. There he was, standing under the tree, drumming and looking around. When he saw her, his eyes lit up like stars. My dancing queen, he said with a grin. Doyin laughed. Stop that. You'll make me shy. But it's true. You dance like the wind? She shook her head. And you play like the river? Smooth and steady. 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 bowed playfully. Shall we begin? And just like yesterday, the rhythm began. This time, Doyin didn't hesitate. She danced with more joy and more freedom. Her steps were lighter. Her moves flowed. She twirled and spun, and her laughter rose to the skies. 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 watched her with wonder. He had played drums for many people before, festivals, dances, markets, but never like this. Never for just one person. Never with this kind of happiness in his chest. When they stopped, both of them were sweating and laughing. You are full of life, 𝐼𝐶𝐳𝐵𝐷 said. You don't know how bright you are. Doyin looked away. People don't usually say that. Well, they don't see what I see. She looked at him again. His eyes were warm, his voice soft. They sat under the tree and talked for a long time. 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷 told her about his village, 𝐸𝐶𝐵. He said his father was a farmer, and his mother made pots. He had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. I'm the only one who loves music, he said. That's why I travel a lot, just to feel the beat of different places. Doyin told him about her mother, 𝐼𝐨𝐵𝐵, and her 3 younger sisters. She told him how people laughed at her size and how no man had ever wanted to marry her. 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷 shook his head. That's their loss. Doyin looked at him. You're kind. But you don't have to say these things. I'm not saying them to be kind. I'm saying them because they're true, he replied. She didn't know what to say. Her heart felt warm, but she was scared. Why are you being nice to me? She asked. You don't even know me. 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷 smiled. I'm trying to know you. I see something special in you, Doyin. When I see you dance, I see joy. Real joy. She looked down, playing with her fingers. I don't want to get my hopes up, she whispered. I've been disappointed before. He nodded slowly. I understand. We can take it slow. I'll be here again tomorrow. If you come, I know you still want to dance with me. And with that, he stood, played a soft rhythm on his drum, and walked away. Doyin sat there for a long time after he left, listening to the fading sound of his drum in the distance. Her heart was full. She felt like she had just opened a new page in her life. A page that might lead to something beautiful. The Festival of the 4 Villages was the biggest event in the region. It happened once every year, and people from 𝐸𝐸, 𝐸𝐶𝐵, 𝐾𝐾, and 𝐸𝐿 would all gather in one place to celebrate life, friendship, and peace. Everyone looked forward to it. Young boys practiced drumming and dancing. Women prepared baskets of food, pounded yam, egusi soup, fried fish, and pepper stew. The hunters sharpened their knives to roast goat and bush meat. Children ran around excitedly, and tailors worked day and night to sew the finest clothes for the occasion. This year's festival felt even more exciting. Maybe it was the good weather. Maybe it was the music already floating through the air. Or maybe, for Doyin, it was because of 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷. Every day since the first meeting, Doyin had gone to the mango tree. And every day, 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷 was there, waiting with his drum and his warm smile. They would talk, laugh, and dance. She was beginning to feel alive in a way she had never felt before. One evening, as she walked back home after dancing, her mother, 𝐼𝐨𝐵𝐵, stopped her. You've been glowing these days, she said, looking at Doyin closely. Your eyes are bright. Your smile is different. Doyin laughed nervously. Maybe it's the festival coming. 𝐼𝐨𝐵𝐵 raised her eyebrows. Or maybe it's something else. Mama. I'm just saying, my daughter. Happiness looks good on you. Doyin smiled quietly. Yes, she was happy. But at the same time, she was scared. What if this happiness didn't last? What if 𝐼𝐨𝐫𝐷 left after the festival? What if he was only kind to her because he felt pity? Her mind was full of questions. But her heart was full of hope. On the day of the festival, the whole of 𝐸𝐸 was buzzing with life. The main square was decorated with palm leaves, colorful cloths, and clay lanterns. A large wooden stage stood at the center for performers. The ground was covered with mats, and music filled the air. People wore their finest. The men in wrappers and hats, the women in bright blouses with beads and waist ties. Children had their faces painted with white lines and dots. Drummers played from morning till night. Dancers performed. Wrestlers competed. Traders sold food, cloth, and handmade items. It was a celebration of culture, unity, and joy. Doyin stayed at home longer than usual. She helped her mother finish cooking before she quietly dressed up. She didn't wear anything loud, just a clean white wrapper and a red scarf. She knew she wouldn't be joining the crowd. Her plan was simple: go to the mango tree, hear the music from afar, and dance alone, just like always. But when she got to her special spot, something unexpected happened. She heard a drum. Not from the festival. A different one. 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 drum. She smiled. He was already there, waiting. She moved closer quietly and watched him from behind the tree. He was playing gently, his eyes closed, lost in the rhythm. Doyin stepped out. "You came early today," she said. 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 opened his eyes and smiled. "I couldn't wait." She chuckled. "You and this drum." "This drum knows my heart," he replied. "Just like you do." Doyin blushed. She walked toward him, and without another word, he began to play. She danced. Freely. Wildly. Happily. They had danced together many times now, but this moment felt different. The drums from the festival faded in her ears. All she could hear was 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭's rhythm and her own heart beating fast. Suddenly, the music from the main festival stopped. Doyin noticed it too. But 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭's drum continued. She turned around in surprise and saw a small crowd gathering near the bushes. Some of them were watching her. Her heart jumped. "They've seen me," she whispered. She stepped back. 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 noticed. "Don't worry," he said softly. "Let them watch." "No," she said quickly. "They will laugh." 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 stopped drumming. "Let them laugh." "But I won't." He took a step closer. "I like dancing with you, Doyin. You make me feel alive." Her eyes met his. "Even though I'm not like the other girls." He smiled. "I like that you're not like the other girls." Then, softly, he said, "Doyin, I don't just want to dance with you during festivals. I want to dance with you for life." Doyin's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 took her hand. "I want to marry you. If you let me, I will bring my people next market day to speak with your mother." Her breath caught in her chest. She felt like the earth had stopped moving. "Me?" she asked. "You want to marry me?" "Yes, you." "But I'm beautiful, kind, full of life. And I love dancing with you." A tear rolled down her cheek. No one had ever said such things to her before. She nodded slowly. "Yes. I would like that." 𝐼𝐶𝐧'𝐭 smiled, held her hand tighter, and whispered, "Then it is settled."
Enjoyed the tale? If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.